Hey everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the ultimate guide on how to play Elsa Bloodstone in Marvel Rivals. She's got a really fun ultimate, which is crazy because you can lead it back around to grab multiple enemies and do that 125 damage that it does. She's got a really useful kit that's great against a lot of different support ults, and I'll be showing you how to use it in this video to get yourself an MVP. Now, Elsa does have some really fun combos here, which you can see are very quick, although she has a harder time landing shots because of how much you're going to be bouncing around. So one thing to note is that with her dashes, you can get those on a very short cooldown with the bars below our health here. You see we have a 3-stack right now. Every knockout that we get, you get 1 point here. If you get a target in our trap and take them out, you get 2 points. These go down by 1 every time that we get knocked out. And this gives us a shorter cooldown on our dash, which is incredible. One thing you want to be doing at all times is using this. With a 2-second cooldown, giving you 40 extra health, it's something you're going to want to use often to stay alive. One, take the pressure off of your healers, but also you get to use the special shotgun, which does percentage-based damage, which is going to be really nice because you can chain these together really easily. And you basically want to get into a flow of using all your abilities here because all of them have a short cooldown of about 8 seconds or even 2 seconds. With the longest cooldown after our ult being our trap there, which has a 12-second cooldown, you do have the option or the ability to just take enemies out quickly like that, but you also want to be aware of the cooldowns that you do have for getting away. Somewhat similar to playing like a Magic or a Bucky-like character, but yeah, you can see we can take out enemies pretty easily with this. So I guess first we'll break down her main fire, the double barrel blaster. Deceptively long range. It only has 80% damage fall off, so you're still going to be doing a lot of damage, even at the maximum range here, which you can see. This shotgun will shoot out 10 pellets that do 4.5 damage each, and the great thing is you shoot it twice, so you get at close range a potential of 90 damage for a headshot, and you can do that twice, so pretty insane, especially when you factor in the shotgun that you also get added on top of this trap damage too. You can see you do some pretty crazy stuff. Even without hitting headshots, like you can be a little bit, you obviously want to get those if at all possible, but it's better to go for a hit rather than missing your shot completely when you fire this quickly, and also can do some pretty crazy juggling tricks like that. So yeah, with Elsa, you want to be using this at the, even at the closest range would be about 20 meters. Kind of like when you're playing Psylocke, you want to play around this area here, and then as you see it, you can go in for those kills. Like if there is a healer that straggles off to the side, you can dash in, get your kill, or trap them. I do prefer going with the trap for flanking, but the next thing I want to talk about is the Monster Piercer. So this is what we get to shoot after using one of our dashes, either our E or our shift ability there. Now, what's crazy about this is it does percentage-based damage. So whenever you do this, it's going to fire out 5 pellets that do 15 damage each. So if you land all 3 of them, it's 75 damage. On top of around 6%, if you land all the shots, it's 1.2 per pellet, which means on a Groot, you're going to be hitting for 126 damage if you manage to land all your pellets on the enemy, which is honestly some pretty considerable damage, especially when you factor in that you can get headshots and things like that as well. This weapon is only usable after you do your dashes, but again, the reason that we want to be using our dashes so much is because you get that bonus health and the ability to... So actually, the thing I should mention there is our E ability actually lets us get some height with it, whereas our shift is only on the ground there. As you saw, I was struggling to get up using the shift. You can't fly up, but if you use your E ability, you do got that range. That's one thing I guess I should mention right there. There is a difference, but both of them do give you the shotgun here, and it's meant to get in close with this ability here to get the shotgun blast off, then to hit the enemy. So I should break down the difference between the dashes. So the one that's on a 2-second cooldown when you have 3 charges here, this one's going to give you that 40 health per dash, and you can get a maximum of 75 health extra from this. And you want to be using this one often because it's going to give you that extra shot there, but it's the one that's giving you the sustain. The next ability is our Ruthless Pursuit. This is the one that you jump it up and hit the enemy up into the air. You also get to fire a secondary shot, which pushes you back. You can use this to your advantage in some pretty silly things, like when using your ult, you can do like a dash here and then do your follow-up shot, which is pushing you back even further. If you're to recall your monster here, you can do some silly stuff because you can bounce yourself away. I didn't do it properly there, but you get the idea. You can run away making your monster chase yourself. But Ruthless Pursuit is our major DPS move because you can see there, you get that mobility in the air. You want to be following that up just like that. If you're able to, you may have to aim a little bit down because it may knock the enemy down a bit just depending on what you're fighting against. Obviously, there's a lot of different characters in this game with many different hitboxes, but that's something you'll have to get into the practice range and practice with. I would recommend going against like Rockets and Jeffs, as those are some of the harder practice targets, and you can go into the practice range over there and practice that all. But yeah, basically with this, you want to be using that jump back, as you got 5 seconds to use it afterwards. So you can use it by jumping in, doing your damage. If you wanted to maybe stay here and like pick off another target and then blast away another one to get some movement away, that's kind of the way you'd be using that. But very powerful ability. Now next up is our trap, the smoky snare. So this one will appear for 1 second, and if anyone is able to shoot it and take it out, it's gone. So you got to be mindful of that. It's best used for like flank routes. Like if you have a like if there's a Black Panther that's constantly harassing your teammates, you can put it as a bad throw right in the doorway there. So when they're doing their thing, they end up getting grabbed by it, and then you guys can take it out a little bit easier. You can also use this near the front lines if there's like a cart there, and you can kind of throw it beside the cart, and then maybe a tank runs around it and gets trapped by it. You have to have it survive for that 1 second. Another thing with this is that whenever it grabs onto an enemy, they can shoot at it to protect their teammates, although the grab is only for like 1.2 seconds. Also, it does a bit of damage, but it only ends up being about 30 damage, so it's not a lot. It does sound like it because there's a lot of hit markers, but that's because they happen every 0.2 seconds, so just something to be aware of. But again, this is great for getting your extra dashes. So early on, if there's a payload or something, put it around the payload because it's guaranteed there's going to be someone moving around there, and then you can just hard focus on them. It's also somewhat useful if you're able to throw it at a healer. Although it's a little bit more risky, you do have to practice your little jump shot there to get familiar with the timing for it. But on certain maps like the Clintar Domination, it can be nice to throw that in the back line just when their healers are distracted. And finally, our right-click living bullet. This one's pretty crazy because you can see that you don't even have to hit the targets, and it can chain around to the enemy. So it's going to look for an enemy in a 8-meter spherical radius. So you can actually hit this from a pretty far away range. You just have to be mindful. I recommend coming to it's right around there. You can see that. So yeah, you can shoot it to the back line, have them hit the targets. And when you hit that target, you get a 40% movement speed buff for 1 second. So this can actually be kind of nice if you get into a habit of like kind of chaining it there, because you're going to have that. It also will do an extra 40 damage to shields and overhealth. So any of the blue bars or like Doctor Strange's shield, it can do a little extra damage there, although it's not major. Before she released, I was kind of fearful, and that's why Venom got his buff to 1.3 health instead of 1 times the health of his ultimate. But basically with this, you're going to do that, and it's going to give you a couple targets. If they end up running away, they'll have the sigil above their head there for a few extra seconds. And with an 8-second cooldown, this is really nice. So yeah, you can also find hidden Invisible Woman with this. So if she jumps away, just like shoot it in an area. It's got that 8-meter range again. So just shoot in the general area, it'll hunt her down. You can shoot her, get that movement speed, and then you go into closing, confirm that kill. So yeah, very powerful kit overall. And now to break down her ult with a 3,400 cost. This one is a doozy. It is going to be insane. You can use this to grab enemies and call them back like that, and it does an insane amount of damage. So when it first grabs them, this is named Glartrox, by the way, it does 75 damage. And then he's going to do a bite at the end whenever he returns to you or hits the wall, and it's going to do 125 damage. So that ends up being 200 damage total. And what's crazy about that is if the enemies are in this, they can't use their abilities and they're stuck. Another thing I do want to mention is you can get pretty silly with this because the range on it is very large. So an Invisible Woman ult, you can press this, grab them all out of it, and you can also run away and try to get as far away as possible with this ultimate, and it's going to chase you guys, and yeah, it ended up blowing them up there. But you can see this here, really long range on this thing, which is pretty funny because you can just continually keep running and pick it away, and then it's going to chase you and try to bite them. So yeah, you can get creative with that. It's kind of the fun of this. It's a little bit easy to whiff her ultimate, though. I do want to mention that because it's going to hit whatever targets you grab, but it has 500 health, so the enemy can take it out relatively easily because you're going to be screaming it out, kind of akin to some of the other ults. And people will likely want to stop this because it makes your tanks unable to do anything. So yeah, this is something to keep in mind. You can get pretty silly with it and finding the pathing for a wall or something to get the enemies. Now she has a team up with Wade Wilson, Deadpool here, which is kind of funny because it does give her the taunt, which is kind of annoying for enemies, and it'll heal you. So basically whenever you hit the enemy there, it's the same. It's going to taunt them for 2 seconds. It's going to deal 20 damage per second over the course of 2 seconds. So that's 40 damage total. It'll give you that 60 damage on its hit. And you see there, we actually pull that back. Look at our health. So it's going to give us the damage that we dealt with that back to our health as a 30% conversion rate. So yeah, it's nice for a little extra sustain when she's already got so many different sustains tools. So yeah, with people so likely to play Deadpool quite frequently, this is really nice because it's just a flat-out boost to overall survivability and to the damage dealt. And one last thing, it'll actually slow down the enemy by 35%, meaning you can get in for the hunt a little bit easier. So Yeah, this is great, especially because this is really good for just eliminating any type of healer, because you can just pop that and find the Invisible Woman. She's going to be taunted and slowed, and you can come in for your abilities and then throw out like a trap if you need to. Now, our gameplay as Elsa, it depends on the map that we're on, but basically the objective with our ultimate is to grab and cause as much chaos as possible. Your preferred method of using that is like if there's an Invisible Woman ult, you can use that against that, because you can actually just grab people and push them off the edge. Depends again on the map that we're going against, but she is a hunter, so you can play flanks, you can protect flanks with your trap. Now, another thing that's pretty funny is that with the long range abilities she's got, things like Jeff are actually really weak to us, because his head, you see, very small in that area, but it was perfect for all of our bullets to land on a critical headshot there, and he's got a nerf to his overall health. And funny enough, she's actually listed as one of Jeff's owners. But yeah, basically using your ultimate, you want to try and grab as many people as possible. It has a very large hitbox. This may change, as it does seem a little bit glitchy in situations, but yeah, you can grab their tanks away and get them into a fight with you guys, and there's just so many different ways to use it. On a map like this, we're kind of stuck here. There's no real area for us to push them off, but you see the idea. You basically just want to go in and try to trap people if you can. You're going to pursue them with your shotgun abilities, and you got those short cooldowns, you want to use them. And she is great at hunting down healers. That's honestly one of the best things you can do as Elsa Bloodstone. With your ability to close the gap between enemies, if you see them taking the off path, go right after them. And there's obviously some maps like the Domination map, Hell's Heaven, where you can just push enemies off the edge really easily. Another thing I want to mention is if the enemies are wiped, you can actually put your trap in a very wide open spot just like that, because it's going to be invincible and invisible. And then if you get a straggler just like that, it's going to trap them. She could have got away with her dash, now she can. Gambit ult still being very popular is really great on Elsa, because again, she's just got the ability to close distances like that. And the damage from her shotgun is pretty crazy if you can get close to land all the headshots. And I actually find Elsa to be a pretty good counter to Magic here, who's oftentimes hard to hit. You can use your other shot there to be able to find her where she's dashing through, and you can see just like that. With the ability to juggle her back, you got some pretty strong ability to counter her, and then also you can see steal kills from others. And I honestly think that Elsa is a direct counter to Jeff. I don't know what it is, but I just find that I take out Jeff more often than not, just due to his large head and her pellets just being perfect size for it. Another thing I noted is that when there's other ultimates around, Elsa can actually capitalize on them really well, like Emma Frost ult when they're getting pulled in. The shotgun blasts are really easy to aim headshots that way, and you can pick up a lot of KOs just by comboing off of your teammates. So the nice thing too is your right click is able to hunt down enemies, so if you got didn't have it on cooldown there, but yeah, we're chasing down that stupid rocket, and we did get the rocket. I actually find that she's pretty solid as an anti-dive as well, like, because the trap's just so good at that. And being able to fire off the piercing rounds whenever there's a Black Panther jumping around is just nice. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions regarding Elsa Bloodstone in the comments. Have yourself a great day, and hit the subscribe button below if this video is useful, and I hope you guys have a good one.